Wander Out West tour, one of the highlights was the wonderful characters that I met at Winton. We walked into the Royal Theatre in Winton. It's one of only 2 open-air theatres currently operating in Australia. We were warmly greeted by a wonderful lady, Geraldine Coughlin, who showed us around and spoke enthusiastically about this place.
My grandparents, Bill and Nell Evatt, actually built the existing theatre in 1938. He was able to build ultimately what we have today. It's a theatre that sat 600 people, wow. Had a roller skating rink at the front, which was a revenue stream again.
I met Matt Hawkins at the Tattersalls Hotel in Winton, where he was working. I was struck by his kindly affability and super efficiency, and I was wondering what an Englishman was doing here in the outback.
And yeah, I struggled at first, I won't lie. It took me a couple of months to settle in, but I love the place. It really grows on you. The town's got charm. And to be honest, I didn't expect the reaction from the locals. They took me in as one of their own.
Steve is certainly an interesting character. He has a wisdom about him. He spent a lot of time in the last few years walking around the harshest tracks in Australia. I met him at Winton, where he was currently staying in a 3 metre by 2 metre tin shed, preparing for his next trip.
Wow, yeah, you know what, there's a lot of deep thinking when you're out on the, road just with nothing around you. You go through times of, this sucks, this is hard, why did I do this? This was such a dumb idea, But then at the end of the day, you know what, if it's like been raining and stuff and then a rainbow comes out and you go, wow, you know what, God's put a rainbow up there for me to gaze upon and go, wow, it's so cool out here.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
awesome.
You see nature, man, you see all this cool stuff in nature and you go, man, this is amazing. It's so cool out here. This is better than being in the city, man, amongst all that noise pollution and, all the overwhelmness of new media.
Okay,
and then and then you meet people along the way, you're hungry or you're thirsty.
Yeah.
So many, great nomads are the best. And they pull up, man,
yeah.
you know what, they give you a few dollars, they take your photo, they say, when you come our way, you can stay at our house with us for a while,
Yeah.
Or, you know what, and they'll ask you questions. It's just ask, wow, what made you want to do this,
I saw a few of Gregory North's shows. He's a poet and performs 2 shows daily in Winton for 4 months of the year. I was wondering what it was like being a poet.
Welcome to the famous North Gregory Hotel. My name is Gregory North. Yes, they named this hotel after me 89 years before I was born.
It's pretty good. I've had real jobs before and this is much better.
What was your real jobs before?
I was mostly driving. I was a coach driver for many years.
Okay.
And I've driven taxis and trucks and a few other things as well. So
Yeah.
when poetry came around, it was something that I really enjoyed. And I think it's something I read said, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. So I've been doing what I love, and I love to perform poetry. So it doesn't feel like I'm working, but I managed to make a living out of it, which is terrific.
I met Juanita on the main street of Winton just before the showing of her film I'm Juanita, which talks about her making an album at Nashville. See, Juanita is Australia's honky-tonk queen. Juanita is autistic. Juanita is amazing. The film was raw, honest, provocative and inspiring. And I wondered how Juanita felt about viewing her story on film in front of a large audience.
Well, I watched it initially with the first conclusive cut, and basically I just thought, I almost contemplated suicide. It affected me, and that's a terrible thing to say, but it made me feel very vulnerable and intimidated. But then I realised the general consensus of the film is the truth. You know, what they're getting at is the truth. There was a few things that I still have problems with, but watching it for the second time last night, I felt more at ease. Because it has been suggested that there's a lot of love and integrity there, and I actually saw it for the first time last night, and I felt a bit bloody relieved, you know.
We'd love it to be self-sustaining, that you know, the theatre has the ability to generate enough income to be able to accommodate the maintenance and accommodate someone to be here, to keep the doors open, to be able to deliver experiences for people to share, which is primarily to show movies. And however, we also have a plan to work on making it a multifunctional sort of facility, so perhaps with a retractable stage so we can host music events or comedy, stand-up comedy, you know, or for functions.
Geraldine's personal story was quite heartfelt, as she lost her husband 4 years ago. And this partly explains the reason why she has returned to this familiar and loved place.
We were looking forward to the next stage of our life. However, he was he'd had a health issue with his heart and had some surgery and was going very well, but sadly just unexpectedly fell asleep. So, but having said that, we were very grateful. He was we were very blessed to have him as long as we did, and that we had, you know, such a wonderful life together.
So Greg, each show you do is an hour. How many shows do you get together altogether?
I have 6 shows at the Caravan Park and 3 shows at the North Gregory Hotel.
Wow, that's a lot of words to memorise, eh?
It is a lot of words to memorise, yeah.
And you do it so well. Thank you.
No worries.
Awesome.
Cecil's now a millionaire. He's living like a king. But fame has mattered little, for it's hardly changed a thing. His Sullige Suckin' franchise makes him money on the side, while Simpson's Sullige Suckers are familiar nationwide. In nearly every town and city here and interstate, the business is expanding and its reputation's great. And printed on the side of all those Sullige Suckin' trucks is a sign that says, "For Sullige, contact Cess, 'cause Cecil sucks."
Beautiful. Now, I think you mentioned before your next stop is you're heading to Alice, is that right?
Yeah, go Alice. Yeah.
Okay.
Head to Bouliar and then go off to Alice and then make my way through the Central Road to Laverton.
Wow.
So then I can make my way up to the Kimberleys, which would be kind of cool. It's
Up
kind
to
of
the
really cool
Kimberleys.
nature up in the Kimberleys.
Beautiful spot. Is there any of Essex here that you found?
I've actually found someone working this year, so this is my 3rd season here. But George, who now works over at the Gregory, she's actually went to the same school as me, so she's in the surrounding area as me back home in Essex, which I did not think I would find in Winton, a girl who went to the same bloody school as me in England. So
that is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
A small town like Winton.
It's a small world, it really is.
Yeah. Can you give us a few comments on Matt? What's he like as a worker, firstly, and a person?
He's a great bar manager, absolutely incredible. I don't want to go in behind the bar anymore because he would just put me to shame. I thought I was quick, but boy oh boy, he's good.
He's always on the run, isn't he?
He is, he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
He can do the work of 2 men.
If you had some words of wisdom on how best to live your life, what would they be?
I would say just jump at the bullet. You only get one chance, don't you, really? So, I mean, here I am in Winton, who would ever afford to? So, just jump at the opportunity. I said yes to the job in Winton, and look at me, I'm still here 2 years and 4 months later.
I don't know, I've done some crazy things where I've driven halfway across the country to pick up people on heroin or now ice or whatever. And there was one particular occasion where I tied up this lady in my motorhome and she was on heroin. but I just felt compelled. It was like the hand of God or something just grabbing me, and I had no bloody control over it. And people would say, "This is crazy, Juanita. What you're doing is crazy. It's irrational." Well, I knew that for myself, but I had no control, and that's how it's been my whole life. I'm not trying to be a do-gooder or whatever, but a lot of people have helped or tried to have been Indigenous, refugees, and I don't care. I have no allegiance to any country or any particular person. A person's a person, irrespective of geographical location, language, skin colour or religion.
Wake up and be grateful that you're breathing. That you got your mum and your dad, that you got friends that love you, you know, that you got a roof over your head, whether it's a tent, whether it's a tin shed, whether it's just a swag, you know what, find the contentment in anything, you know, don't wallow around feeling sorry for yourself, be grateful, you know, find that joy.
Wow.
In something simple.
Each day. You never know what each day presents. Living it fully is just getting up and smiling and celebrating what presents to you. Things change so quickly, and it is a case of just being grateful now for what you have, and not looking too far ahead for what you hope to find.
There were many similarities between each of these wonderful people that I'd met at Winton. They were all adventurers. Each were passionate about what they were doing. There was a certain joy and appreciation of life that they had, and they were all risk takers stepping out of their comfort zone. For isn't it taking that first step into the unknown that can lead us to the place of our dreams?
Civil wars and unrest, rubbish dumps and plastic weights, footprints of all human race. We can't afford to wait too long, so I guess I thought I'd just put it all in a song. And I'm bleeding for the world. That's it.
Wow. Juanita, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Peter.
honoured.